And now, the LSU Football Fix with Preston Guy, presented by Tiger Bait, starts now.
And welcome on in to your LSU Football Fix. I'm Preston Guy, your host as always. With me as always every Monday night when he feels like it is Zach Nagy, staff writer at LSU Country on SportsIllustrated.com. Guys, we've got an absolutely loaded, jam-packed show. There's a lot to get to tonight. With a lot of news going on in the LSU circles. We've got Gabriel Reliford, who's actually backstage. We're about to bring him on in just a bit, so get on to watching. If you have a thought or comment you really want to get out there tonight, highly recommend the Super Chat function. We're not going to be able to get to everybody. There's just too much to go down through today, okay? So we're going to get to that. Tonight's show is, of course, presented by Celebrity Theaters. So tonight we're going to be talking with Gabriel Reliford, who fresh off his decommitment to Texas A&M, and he just took an official visit to LSU. Looking forward to hearing about his visit there. There's lots of recruiting news going on, including Gabriel Reliford's decision coming up on December 8th at 9:45 a.m. We got the bowl game we got to talk about. Jaden Daniels named a Heisman finalist, and of course, I got to get on my high horse and complain about the Heisman selections. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Gabriel up on here, and we're going to talk a little bit of football. What's going on, Gabriel?
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and taking some time out. I know, I can't imagine the last 2-3 weeks must have been a whirlwind for you, huh?
Yes, sir. You know, it's been pretty hectic to say the least. But you know, it's all a blessing.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the big news. I mean, obviously, you've been committed to Texas A&M for a while, right? And they, of course, I assume it was a bit of a shocker to you when they announced they were moving on from Jimbo Fisher, right?
Right.
My question is, was your decommitment from Texas A&M, was it more about Jimbo Fisher? Was it more about Elijah Robinson moving on, taking the Syracuse DC job? Or was it more external factors, like you just wanted to look into maybe another school looked better to you?
Honestly, it was a combination of things. One with the Jimbo Fisher news. Of course, it hit me pretty hard. However, I love Jimbo and all, but he wasn't the driving factor as to why I was going to Texas A&M. But when Elijah Robinson, when he left, that was probably my last straw as far as me being with A&M. I would be honest, Coach, he was probably the only reason that I was sticking with Texas A&M. And when he left, it was like, man, there's really no point in me actually going here. So I decided to decommit.
When you're kind of going through the recruitment process, how big are relationships for you when you're looking through different programs? Obviously, you're down right now to what looks like LSU and USC with a decision coming. You switched it to December 8th, correct?
Yes, sir.
So when you're kind of going through the recruitment process as a whole, how important are relationships? Because you're obviously talking about, with Coach Elijah, how that was one of the main deciding factors. So for you, just how important is that, just going through the process as a whole?
I feel as though it's a big part, of my decision. You want to be around people who actually, care about you and things of that nature. The relationship with both USC and LSU are both, like family. Both made me feel at home, both give me the sense that, I'm more than just a football player. And, my relationships, with those two schools is more than just one coach. It's multiple coaches, like pretty much the whole staff, even the recruiting directors, all that. So, that it's pretty big for me.
Well, that's a perfect question, because what I had to kind of follow that up was when it comes to your relationships and your decision to make this, what's most important to you? Your relationship with, say, your defensive position coaches, your relationship with your head coach, or your relationship with just the school and team itself?
I would say probably my position coach and the school and team. First off, I'll just say the coach because, that's going to be the guy who's teaching me what I know, ultimately developing me into where I want to be, which is the NFL. And I would say the school and team, just in case, you always want to be at a school where if you got hurt, you would love to be there. You wouldn't mind being there, even if you weren't playing football. So that also plays a role. And you know, the football players, you're gonna be around those guys every day, all day. So you know, you of course you want to like the guys that you're around, you know, all day. So those two are my biggest things as well.
Obviously, you're fresh off an official visit to Baton Rouge. Talk about the experience just being, you know, in Death Valley, eating up in the suite, you know, getting to do the photo shoots, just everything. Because you've been on campus, dude, like several times for unofficials and stuff for game days. But now that you had the official under your belt, what was it kind of like just being with your family, the coaches, and just the overall experience?
Yeah, man. Like I said before, they made me feel at home. My mom, my dad, they definitely felt at home. You know, it was a pretty good experience. It was better than all the other ones. Going down to LSU, it was definitely different. I was happy that my parents got to experience, you know, how much those guys, you know, actually care for me and for us as a whole. And you know, it was a great visit.
Good.
What's your relationship with Coach Jimmy Lindsey been like? And has he told you about, you know, if he's got some health issues going on, has he hinted about his future at all?
You know, I'll be honest. I don't want to put his business out there, but me and Coach Lindsey, we're you know, we talk here and there, but you know, we got a pretty good relationship.
I guess now you're it's crunch time. Like you're entering, you know, the final stages of a big commitment. One of the top guys left on the board. Right. USC LSU race. I'm not going to say like what separates each other from the rest, but you know, obviously USC is a fantastic program. Lincoln Riley has them on the rise. Defensively, they brought in a new guy as well. So for you, what kind of separates LSU from USC, and what separates USC from LSU?
If I had to start with LSU, I'd probably say just the platform on which they play. You know, SEC is definitely the biggest conference in college football right now. I feel like that's the biggest thing. You know, other than, you know, them taking people, you know, from my area and my position and developing them into, you know, NFL players. They've done it a couple of times with guys from my school, guys from my area.
Right.
You know, we have a long history of, you know, through and my area, you know, having great players go to LSU. What I say USC separates LSU.
I didn't mean to distract you. It just went with your comment. I'm sorry. Keep on going.
Yeah, it's cool. It did get me. USC separates from LSU because I say USC definitely has a better academic program. You know, it is in California, and California is the land of opportunity as far as, you know, business goes. And, you know, I want to major in business, and, you know, they have a great business program. Lincoln Riley has just brought in a great DC and Coach Lynn. And, you know, he has a lot of NFL experience under his belt. Same as Matt House. But you know, he's fresh out the NFL, and, you know, he brings NFL schemes with him. And, you know, being in an NFL scheme would I feel as though would, you know, best prepare me for the next level after college. So, you know, those are kind of the two things that, you know, separate each other.
For you, obviously, you kind of talked about how from where you're from in your area in Louisiana, you've seen people come down to Baton Rouge and develop them into superstars. For you, do you have any relationships with any, like, I guess, current guys on the roster, or even guys who have gone through the program already and just seen like the development that they've had over time in Baton Rouge?
Definitely. Jeremiah Roscoe, he's one of the guys who went to LSU from my school as well.
Yeah.
Micah Baskerville, Jarg Bernard, those three guys have came from my school. Byron Dawson. Those four guys I talk to and have a relationship with. As far as just guys from around my area, I'll probably say like Devin White, you know, Greedy Williams. Those guys, I've just seen, you know, those guys go there and be great, you know, and that's a big thing.
I love, so there's going to be no shortage of 318, 31 great coming from you wherever you go, no doubt. Also, you know, John David Booty is another guy from Evangel.
Yeah, right.
Went to USC. So some Evangel connections. You know, Hester is another one who won 4 state championships there. It's a powerhouse program. So I love that we're talking about relationships with players and teams like that. One of the things I would wager, and just correct me if I'm wrong here, you don't have to go in depth, but I'd say you're probably a little closer with the guys LSU has recruited that's committed in their class, the 2024 class, just because of geography, right? But what I want to get at is you talked a lot about being comfortable with the team that you're going to be playing with, right? A lot of these guys in the Texas A&M class, you know, whether they were players or committed to the class, are now doing kind of what you're doing, new coaching staff. Do I fit in? They're decommitting and stuff like that. Are there any guys you've talked to and name them or don't, up to you, that you want to bring with you, that you want to play with and go together?
Name them. Just do it.
Oh man, I ain't gonna fake. You know, if I were to go to LSU, I'd say I would recruit Dom just to get the number 1 and number 2 defensive lineman, you know, in the state to stay in Louisiana. I definitely try to get Dalen. However, you know, I don't feel as though Dalen would, you know, like Baton Roots. So I don't know. It's a little different for him, but if I had to choose, I'd probably say Dalen. I mean, not Dalen, but Dominic and Bussy. If they could pull Bussy, that'd be big.
For sure. And obviously, kind of hitting back on the official visit back in Baton Rouge again, you're an early enrollee, correct? Like, you're going to be on campus wherever you go, USC, LSU in January, correct?
Right.
So I guess entering crunch time and being fresh off of such a, I guess, exciting experience in Baton Rouge, what's like the highlight for you? What was something that you kind of stood out to you most over the weekend? Where'd you go eat? Just stuff like that.
To be honest, I just say like the how genuine the coaches are. Honestly, it wasn't all about ball. They made us feel at home. You know, they took good care of us. You know, and I feel like that stood out the most to me. You know, how you treat my family is a big thing to me. You know, so if you care for them, I know you'll be able to care for me.
For sure. And then the food's a little bit different, obviously, up North Louisiana and then down here.
Yeah.
Which is better, though? I have to know. That was my next question. Which is better?
What was on the menu?
I don't know. It's kind of negative. I had to give it to South Louisiana. It's a little bit more culture down there, I'd say.
That's awfully noble of you. It's also correct of you.
Right, yeah. We're more close to Texas. You know, it's not as good, but you know,
it's not bad.
We hanging with them though. It's like
I was about to say.
No, it's up there for sure. But down south, and honestly, you probably have to go a little further down south than the 225 if you want the best. Man, go to like Terrebonne, New Orleans. That's probably your bet. The hometown of Zach Nagy, New Orleans, down there. What are your primary factors that have gone into making your decision, or the decision you have to make still?
I say just the guy who's gonna be developing me, the staff, how stable the staff is, the recruits, like if I mesh well with the recruits and also the people on the team, and I'll just say, last but not least, how I'm treated and how much they care for me and my family. Like I said before, how we're treated, you know, definitely goes a long way for us as far as these visits go. We have had some good visits. We have had some, you know, some iffy visits, you know. So, just for someone to, you know, treat us right, you know, let us know they care about us, you know, that's a big thing.
When you go on your visits and you meet with these different staffs, for LSU specifically, I think I saw you put out a tweet a couple of days ago, maybe it was a week or two ago, where you said you're not a defensive tackle. You were talking about what you specifically are. Where do you envision yourself at the next level? And I guess when you look at LSU and USC at the same time, I got to show them love as well. Where do you see them utilizing you, you know, at the next level? But I guess edge, defensive line, maybe like as a jack. Where do you see?
So both of them have pretty much broken it down to me how I've been used. They're saying they're going to use me on the edge. Both, you know, it's similar ways.
Yeah.
You know, LSU is going to stump me a lot. You know, just put me in a position to make plays. USC is doing the same. Just put me on that edge, man, and let me work. That's why I play best. You know, people are saying like D tackle and all that. Like, nah,
you're right.
And when I went up to these schools, like the D line coaches and the defensive coordinator straight up told me, I was like, man, you're not a D tackle. Like, they kept it real with me. It was like, you don't have the body type for it. And, you know,
I'm going to say you have to put on a hell of
a I was really curious about that, actually, because I was like, you know, the measurables are there, right? Oh, he's trying to show the frame now. He's like, look at me, bro. I'm an edge rusher, man. It's that Joey Bosa build.
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
Oh, man. Look.
You heard me say you have to put on a little bit more size. He immediately moved that camera down.
Boy, you would need some of that 504 cooking to play defensive tackle. That's for sure. Very slender for sure. Are you 255 legit right now?
Right now I'm around 252.
Wow. Yeah. That's very impressive. That's very slender for a 252. That means it's very lean.
What do you want your playing weight to be at the next level?
Yeah.
Man, just the way that I can work it. I'll say I say I really want to max out like 260 at the most, to be honest.
Because we were talking to Ashton Stamps the other day when we were doing like player interviews and stuff, and he was saying how he put on so much weight when he got to campus. It was like it was unbelievable. He said he had to drop a couple pounds just because he was getting hurt. Like he hurt his groin and it kind of moved over to like his hamstring or something. So yeah, I guess playing weight really matters more than even I thought, obviously.
Yeah, some guys can't handle a lot of weight, so it just really depends on how your build is, you know.
I've got a couple just lighthearted ones here. I feel like we've kind of gotten into the meat potatoes of it. Who's going to win the Heisman?
Jane Daniels for sure.
And he deserves it. Is that the right choice?
He deserves. I can't see a person like in the race. Really, honestly, I think he did all he could to really, you know, plead his case. To be honest.
All right, and before we wrap it up, Zach, do you have anything else before you want to wrap up here with?
No, man, you hit on everything. I really wanted to ask how they wanted to utilize you at the next level, because I know what you said. I know you were feeling some type of way about the defensive tackle stuff. So I wanted to clear the air on that. And I'm glad, you know, that there's a plan with this coaching staff. Obviously, with Coach Jimmy Lindsay and other stuff, you know, being up, not necessarily up in the air, but just different right now. So I'm glad that we got that, you know, cleared out. And man, that's a
lot of people were talking about whether or not, just because they see the numbers, they see the 6'2", 6'3", 255, and they're like, well, you could stay that, or you could bulk up.
Yeah. No doubt. A lot of people, if they see me in person, will say like, dang, man, are you like 230? You know,
that's what I would have guessed. 235-ish is just based on what you know, just looking at you just there, 235-ish. Yeah.
Based off him flexing on the camera.
Yeah, but then you flex a little bit. I'm like, oh, there's the other 20 right there. I see where it's going on. All right, we're gonna wrap up here, but I do have to ask: do you know where you're going to college, where you're gonna sign with already, or is that still up in the air?
I say it's still in the air, man. I kind of have just given myself a deadline as far as Friday, because like I said, I'm an early enrollee, and you know, both USC and LSU are both my top schools, and that's very evident to me and my family. So I went ahead and broke it down to those two guys and those two schools, and you know, this Friday, you know, I know about this Friday. I know God will lead me.
Beautiful, awesome, Gabriel. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you for hopping on with us.
I appreciate that, guys. Make sure to go give him a follow on social media. You know, in the age of NIL, these players getting followers is not just about ego anymore. It helps them, you know, make business decisions. His handle is at @GReliford9. Is that your Instagram as well?
No, sir. My Instagram is at GA9RIEL.
There, you heard it, guys. All right, so y'all go give him a follow, support his future endeavors, whether it be a Tiger, Trojan, wherever it may be. He's a standout young man. I appreciate you for joining the show. Hey, man, good presence. You might have a future in this. Keep an eye out. Maybe keep some mass communication on the majors list, huh?
Yes, sir. I've had a little practice. We got a little show, little promo. God Family Football on Amazon, man. Season 2.
You do your own show?
No, not me. It's from my school, but I'm one of the key people in there.
Interesting. That is so cool. Well, y'all make sure to go check it out. Appreciate you for coming on, Gabriel.
Yes, sir.
Thank you on Friday, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Of course.
That was Evangel edge rusher Gabriel Reliford, quality young man. We've got tons to talk about tonight, guys. So don't rush out of here or anything, because we haven't even touched on the massive portal news that was going on today. We're going to talk a little bit of recruiting. There's not anything really in LSU's face brand new with recruiting, but there's always stuff going on. He talked about a couple of the guys we're going to be hitting on. I thought it was interesting. He mentioned Dominic McKinley and Terry Bussey by name. I didn't expect him to do that.
I mean, I was hoping he would. Obviously, I kind of told him, I was like, come on, like, just spill it.
Yeah, just do it, man. I like how you're just like, there, put the peer pressure on.
Oh, he didn't. Then I saw Nurse in the comment section, like, put emojis. I'm like, oh my God, I guess everybody kind of caught me trying to immediately go off. But no, man, what a fantastic interview. Good guy. I want to check out what he's talking about on Amazon too. We both might have to look at that.
Yeah, it was so fast I couldn't repeat it. So I'm gonna go back and listen to the tape just like y'all can. Y'all can already do it.